It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, as you guys were creating it just as a whole, did it feel dramatically different from your Bum Rush to Show? Could you sense that something different is going on here?
Absolutely, absolutely. It was a lot more sampling. That's when Hank got heavy into layering samples. Uh, the first the Bum Rush Show was not heavily layered in samples, and they were so taken by the James Brown, what's his what's the dude's name,
Clyde Stubblefoot? Yeah.
no, Bobby Bird. They were the Bobby
Oh,
Bird sample. Actually, it's Bobby Bird. I know you got sold, but I think they were so taken by the sample that Hank was like, okay, we got to do sample. you know, um, so that's they would sample drums and layer other samples on top of them. He got heavy into layering samples. So yeah, it's a lot different. It
hmm.
evolved quickly because they were trying to keep up with the times.
Yeah.
You know.
And speaking of that, did you feel like the getting like on the Less Than Zero soundtrack with Bring the Noise and these different things were uh did that seem to make a difference with how you guys were perceived in the audiences? Because it seemed like even from the beginning, you guys are touring in Europe, you guys are with the Beastie Boys. You're not playing to all black audiences, even though the message is largely that. Did you feel like these soundtracks and these different things early in the game changed how you guys were perceived, or do you think it didn't really matter?
That's a good question. Um, that's a good question. I don't know that I can point out one single reason that kind of happened. Um, I can't remember. Matter of fact, not too far, not too many miles from where I live now in North Carolina, we did a day concert, which was kind of unheard of back then. But we did a day concert, and the line we were pulling up with the bus and or a van, whatever we were riding in, and we see this line of people going down the street. I'm like, what's going on here? And then we found out that they was waiting for the Public Enemy show,
Oh wow.
it was a very different type of crowd. And I was like, wow, okay,
Well,
you know, um,
this is much later for me, but I remember uh when I saw you guys for the first time was because of my age. It was the Fear of a Black Planet tour at the Capitol
mhm,
Center in Landover, Maryland, and that holds 18,000 people. It was sold out, and if there were 10 white people in there, I'd tell you that you were lying, and I was one of them. So I when I would hear or see these things elsewhere around the country, I thought it was still largely black people going to the shows because in Maryland and D.C. that's what it is and that's what it was.
mhm,
But I learned very quickly that that was not representative of what was happening in the rest or a lot of the rest of the country. So that always kind
mhm.
of blew me away because it was 18,000 black people in that show, and I was one of the very few non-black people at that show. So
I I think overseas um, is where we had a large white following initially. Then it kind of spread to the United States, and like I said, I can't really put a nail on what actually did that. I think they were attracted by political side and that sort of thing. Um, but yeah, even to this day, you know, we have it's safe to say black people kind of kicked us to the curb, and white folks still you know follow us. Not kicked us to the curb, but we just kind of and it's mostly the United States. I always say um, people overseas have a better appreciation of art in general. Um, and it's not just us. It's not just hip hop, R&B, bands. I don't care who it is. They just don't support like us, like any musician like they do overseas. This which is
Yeah,
a lot, which is a reason a lot of artists, most of their work, when they kind of has been in groups that they go overseas because they appreciate it overseas. I guess we're spoiled here in the States. I don't know what it is, but
uh, it's a
yeah,
shame. It's a
it
shame, is
is,
what it
it is,
is.
it is,
Um,
it is.
but with it takes an extra million to hold us back. I've always heard many different things about the origin story of Terminator X to the Edge of Panic. So, is DJ Bobcat the one who gave you the original idea? Is that really
Absolutely,
what
I'm the
happened?
one. Yeah, so we were at sound check. Bobcat was DJing alongside Cut Create at the time for LL Cool J. Bobcat is an excellent DJ. He's a
He's
great
phenomenal.
show. He's a great show DJ as well. There's two type of DJs. Well, there's probably more, but there's cats that do just all they can do is do tricks, and they're not very good DJs. Otherwise, respectfully, it is what it is. But Bobcat can do both. Um, he's like as Jazzy Jeff. Anyway, I came to sound check one day, and Bobcat took a he had a soda can, if I remember correctly. This is a little toy anyway. Anyway, he had a soda can. I think it was a soda can. Pretty sure it was a soda can on top of the turntable, and he put the record. He put Rebel Without a Pause upside down on top of the can, and he took the needle out because if you know anything about 1200s, you can take the needle. The cartridge screws out, and he turned it upside down and screwed it back in, and that's how he was able to play the records backwards, which I had never seen before. And he was playing Rebel backwards. I was like, "Yo, that's dope." He was like, "Yo, man, you should make a song out of that." And I said, "I will." and that was the beginning of Terminator. That was the spark for Terminator X: The Edge of Panic. Yep.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
with that one, speaking of samples, there's so many different samples on there. Um, of course, one of the ones that doesn't get a lot is Spoonie G.
Hmm.
And for you growing up loving and listening to rap, Spoonie G, I think, is one of those guys that doesn't get enough shine or credit as rap became more popular. So if you really were a big fan of his, like what did you like about Spoonie G and what he did?
I love Spoonie G's songs. I can't take credit for putting it on a song though. The Bomb Squad added that loop into it.
Okay.
When I initially made the track, pretty much all that was on there was Rebel Going Backwards, and I did a drum program behind it, and I did of course, the Queen. The Queen was my idea. I'm a
Oh,
huge
the Flash
Queen fan.
Gordon?
The Flash Gordon, yeah, I'm a huge Queen fan. I love their music. I was a fan of it back then. I like the movie Flash Gordon. I'm a sci-fi guy. It's corny now, but obviously that's where I heard it, the song in the movie. Anyway, so I got the for some reason I got the idea to use it for intro. And what else did I have? And I did the scratching. Obviously, I'm trying to. Yeah, there was another James Brownish.
Oh, that was
Uh,
The JBs is on there, I think.
uh, the scratch. Talking about the scratch.
Oh, the Go Off. Well, the Go Off is Spoonie G, right? The Go Off or Go Off.
Yeah, but the main scratch. I'm trying to think of the name of that record. Anyway, it's more James Brown family stuff.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, it's like anyway, the main scratch part is James Brown, and then the go off is behind it. So Bomb Squad added the Spoonie G stuff, but I am a huge fan of Spoonie G. Uh, I still play his records. I just most people don't know Wifey by Next is Spoonie G. That's the bass line.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? I don't know if you know. Yeah, that's
I do.
Spoonie G. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. He's very influential and important,
Hmm.
but I don't think a lot of people. That's why I wanted to ask you as a
Yeah.
DJ, as somebody that grew up in the era there, like, I just think he doesn't get enough shine.
Yeah, there's
And he was
a lot of
rapping
that.
nonstop and rapping fast and doing all this stuff, or faster than most, I should say. So he brought a lot to the table.